Hello, UCR. What's your favorite scary movie?
A big holiday hello out there to all of our horror hooligans that are just, ready to get into the silly season in the best possible way. We hope you are not too full after last week's Thanksgiving, but we thought we'd offer you a second course. Katie, I know that you are probably feeling plucked, stuffed, and roasted and ready because we've wanted to talk about this one for a little while, for a long while, but we'll talk more about that in a second. Obviously, unless you cannot follow a narrative structure. This week, Katie and I have sat down at the table at opposite ends of each other. Very long table, very big table. To the feast that is Eli Roth's Thanksgiving. There will be no leftovers, apparently.
Oh, you gotta say it. You gotta say it with the accent. There's no leftovers.
Leftovers. No leftovers. Leftovers. Now, we've both seen this in cinemas because, in a rare occurrence, just like the olden days, a movie came out at the cinemas.
It sure did.
Wow. Yes. So the funny thing is, it actually came out here first, which is super rare. Like, I was in doubt when I heard this movie was coming out whether we would get it at all here in Australia, because sometimes, especially with horror, we don't always get a theatre release, and especially with something as American specific as Thanksgiving, I was like, I don't know about it. But then I started to see whoever is taking over our franchise, the movie franchise of Hoyts, do horror nights. So like they'll bring out a movie like a week early, and they'll do like a special screening, and it's happened for like for a few. So someone finally likes horror movies at like in one of the major distributors, which is cool. And Thanksgiving got a fair amount of promo here. I saw it all over Facebook. Obviously, TV ads not so much because of the content, but I definitely saw it all over Facebook.
I mean, this is something that's been almost 20 years in the making. People have been wanting this movie from Eli Roth since he made his fake trailer and attached it to the Grindhouse movies in 2007. So this is just delayed satisfaction.
Delayed gratification. Yeah, it's like gratification in the biggest way.
Oh,
we are the biggest cucks of the world at the moment. Wild pussy.
Like Kyle and I got in the car and I said, "Go!"
We didn't hear any of that because of your yelling. Your microphone topped out. Do it a little bit quieter. What did you say?
Oh no, it was just all excited squeals. I've been waiting so long for this fucking movie, and I squealed like this too in the car. Okay. So yes, I set my husband deaf too. So sorry.
Well, there we go. So you had a date night for this one.
Oh, we went to a matinee. You know, we're old folks.
Date day.
When
that's nice.
Black Friday after the holiday, so it was appropriate.
Yes,
very on
theme. I like it.
And shockingly enough, the theater was pretty busy.
Yeah,
and I never knew that people went to see movies on Black Friday, but there it was.
It was interesting to like we had a fair like with a horror movie. It's either going to be like all full or like all out. But I had a really weird time on like a Wednesday, like a Friday. No, what? It was a weird night. It was a Thursday night. Thursday night at like 9:30 p.m. and there was still about 20 or something people in the theater, which is weird for like this time of year, this time of night, this time of movie. I was like, okay, but it was good to see that there was people out there supporting it. But yeah, it took me by surprise a little bit, this one, which is good because it's been a while since there's been this kind of movie without
Right.
spoiling it too much. Without, like the just old school 70s, 80s slasher.
It's a
Like,
grindhouse.
yeah, it's
It's exactly what
definitely.
they were aiming for.
Yeah, it gave me big happy birthday to me vibes. Like, I was like, oh, okay.
I was very pleased with this. I mean, again, going back to the 2007 trailer with the infamous tagline of going home this holiday season in a body, well, this holiday season, go home in a body bang. Like, you're setting yourself up like it has to be amazing. It has to be good. People wanted this movie so badly. And I really want to know why, after all the crap Eli Roth has been pumping out for years, because let's be real here, let's not mince words. It's crap. And he puts this out. Finally, maybe he just felt like he really needed to make a big comeback.
Some people, I think, sometimes people have these passion projects that they're not ready to make until a certain time. Like, it probably could have came out however long ago, but the vogue of, slasher has gone in and out as well, and probably would have been a complete anomaly a couple of years ago when we were all doing found footage stuff and all that kind of stuff. But we're sitting in a post Scream world, a post Scream 2003 world or 2023 world. Like, they are, the slashers are back, but in a different way. We've had the Halloween resurgence. This kind of feels right at this time. I feel like it's got a weird mix, and it's weird. It's kind of weird to sit in.
I'm here for the slasher resurgence. It's been a fun ride.
Yeah. Well, there's plenty more coming. This Christmas seems like there's going to be just horror movie wall to wall, which is cool. I think we'll talk about watching a Christmas one a little bit later, but we should get into it. So if you have not seen Thanksgiving yet, thanks Eli Roth Thanksgiving 2023, please pause the podcast here and then, join us for the feast. But until then, we're gonna dig in, and I'm gonna give us a bit of a synopsis so we can kind of get through it. Mm-hmm. In 2022, during Thanksgiving in Plymouth, Massachusetts, people are gathering outside the Right Mart superstore in preparation for a Black Friday sale to remember. Jessica Wright, whose father Thomas owns the store, lets her friends Evan, Gabby, Scuba, and Yulia and her boyfriend Bobby inside the store early through a side door. The massing crowd outside sees them and stampedes the store, resulting in multiple people dying. Horrible deaths. Most notably, Amanda Collins, the wife of store manager Mitch. 1 year later, Right Mart is preparing for another sale, tasteful or not, as mysterious deaths begin to plague the survivors of the stampede. Delivered beautifully and in fully Eli Roth style by a killer wearing a John Carver mask. Mm-hmm. So let's talk about, I guess we'll talk about the Black Friday thing first, because...
Well, before you dive into that, I'm not sure how up to date on your American history you are. Plymouth, Massachusetts being
this is what I was about to say. You're going to have to kind of maybe spell out. I know some American history because I have an American association and I know a little bit about it. But for some viewers, you might have to fill in. So Plymouth, go Massachusetts.
It's where the Mayflower landed when they came over from England. So this is the relevance of that and why Pilgrim Mask and. Not quite sure if John Carver is real, though. I have not dug that deep into that, but I know Plymouth, Massachusetts is a very real place. And
John Carver's a real person.
Okay, didn't know.
Yeah, John Carver's a real person.
Wasn't the best in history here, so don't excuse me on that one.
I know that, but
good for you. So we're filling in the gaps for each other. It's great.
Yeah,
but those accents are very real too. I love me a good Massachusetts accent. It just hits just right. It really does.
There you go. He was the first mayor of Plymouth.
Aha. Okay, so
Came
that
over
is
Mayflower. So he's the enforcer, which makes sense, which makes sense. He's making the rules and he is dealing out the punishment. Now, this
the
Black
actual-
Friday scene.
Mhm.
I sat there for a minute. And went, Eli Roth. What do I know about Eli Roth?
It's gonna be bloody.
Oh, and then it started. I went, I remember. But he knew exactly what he was doing from the minute this movie started.
As people who spent a lot of time in retail, did that give you a little PTSD?
Oh yeah. But did the beginning of this movie remind you of anything else?
Just a little bit.
Just the mask on, point of view through the eyes, walking up to the doorway. It was very I love that he said it in that classic slasher vibe straight away. And people that we know, these are some established actors. I saw Gina Gershon and I went, I love Gina Gershon. I haven't seen her on the big screen in ages. It was a nice sighting.
We love a Gina Gershon cameo. We love it. She was originally up for Jennifer Tilly's role in Bride of Chucky.
Yeah, could you imagine?
It just wouldn't be the same.
It wouldn't be the same, but it was good to see her do the guest spot last season.
It certainly was, and then McDreamy, and I even screamed it in the theater. It's McDreamy.
Patrick Dempsey, yeah, and we know that this is not Patrick Dempsey's first, foray into the slasher for him either. So it's nice to see him. He doesn't look like he's aged that much either. So
no, he looks great, and honestly, I think this is a good move for him because it's
definitely going to put him back in the. Definitely going to put him right back in the zeitgeist of people.
A lot of people have been waiting for this film. A lot of people like him. It was a really solid move. I know a lot of people feel like horror is like a death trap for your career, but I think it's put a lot of people back into the limelight. I don't think it's that anymore. That in the early 90s, it was like, oh my god, you do horror when your career is over. But yeah,
look at the payday that some of these, especially Jamie Lee Curtis. I mean, look, she was the most reluctant scream queen in the world, and then has come out of Halloween one of the most powerful people in Hollywood acting wise. She's obviously got that nepo baby cred, but she's her own person, and she's managed to parlay that franchise into something where she was the final Meek and Mild final girl to making that money. So good on you, Jamie Lee.
No, and she's very proud of her Scream Queen cred now.
Yeah, it's nice to see her fully embrace it now, because there was a time when she had wanted nothing to do with all of her Scream Queenness, and now she's just yep. She credits Halloween with her career, and all the movies that she did brought her to where she is today. So it's very cool. But I definitely got a 70s, 80s vibe. I actually thought that's where we were to start with. I thought we were back in the way back when, and then all the way back in the 80s. Those kids of today. But then our teenage characters came in. I don't know. These are rough teenagers, right? These are like end of senior year, mate, held back a couple of grades teenagers.
I mean, these are supposedly supposed to be Gen Zers, and these guys are wild. I don't mess with Gen Z. I think I've got some pretty.
They are some old-looking teenagers.
They are some old-looking teenagers, especially Bobby. Bobby's looking rough.
Bobby looks like he's come back from college or something, but whatever.
Well, I guess he technically did, but still, Bobby does not look like he is in his early 20s, late teens. He looks like he's in his 30s, let's be real.
Yeah.
I was happy to. I'll be honest. I thought Addison Rae did a really nice job. I mean,
She did, and when I saw her name, I was like, really?
So did I.
Okay, then.
It's like I saw He's All That. It wasn't all that.
It was not all that.
She did really well in this. I think she could be a great scream queen. She's got a good scream on her.
Yeah, look, there's definitely some really great portrayals. What did we think of Nell, who played Jessica?
Oh,
she was mysteriously old. She was mysteriously old, wasn't she? Like, I felt she looked a bit too old. But that's just me.
I mean, she doesn't look Bobby old, but she definitely looks older.
Yeah,
I think the rest of the cast was fairly appropriately aged, but she and Bobby looked pretty old.
They looked a little bit mature student, didn't they?
Yes.
It's all good.
And is it just me, or did Ryan give off? Do you remember that boy band together on MTV?
Vaguely, yeah.
He looked like one of those.
It was very of its time. Like, I'm just like, oh, okay, very of its time. But the stampede, we keep going missing the stampede, but oh my god,
I've seen so many of those in my life. It is like I can vividly remember my last Black Friday in retail, and I just remember people pushing on the door, and I'm just thinking, oh god, these sales aren't even good. Go home.
See, people in Australia, we don't get it. Like, we don't like. Black Friday has only been a thing here, probably in the last 10 years, but not to this. This is real, people. Like, this is, if you get on YouTube, you can go and look at like people actually die in Black Friday sales all the time. It is not unusual thing.
Not to the degree that these guys died. I mean, people have gotten trampled for sure. I think we even had to pull someone like out of like the entryway so they wouldn't get fully trampled, if I'm remembering correctly. And all these were literally things like a waffle iron. It's so ridiculous.
I love that. That's the big get, is the waffle iron. The
waffle iron.
The waffle iron, and so many people died to get this waffle iron. I'm just like, I feel the worst for Amanda. I mean, she got messed up. Poor Gina.
I felt pretty bad for her too, but the guy in like the entryway, the guy's throat slashed.
Oh yeah.
On the broken glass, which
he had commitment. The guy with the glass in the throat had commitment. He got to that waffle iron. He got to that waffle iron and he grabbed it. He never let it go. Oh, he did let it go. But I feel worse for the security guard. Like, that's horrible. The guy that got stampeded to death. That is a horrible way to die.
And you know, the thing about about getting trampled by the door and by the glass in the throat is it's just realistic, and like it's just
enough. Yeah, it's enough. Not Final Destination. It's not Final Destination-ish.
Like, it's not so outrageous that it couldn't happen, but it's very
it's very Eli Roth. It's very Eli Roth. Like, what's the most unlikely thing you're going to die from? Okay. 2 trolleys ramming together, smashing your head and breaking your neck. Okay, cool.
And then pulling, off a piece.
Oh, I was just like, oh no, we're not going. We're going to scalp her as well. That's gorgeous.
Oh, and I'm very proud of him because it showed a lot of restraint. Because he could have really. And
this was rated R here in Australia, and I can't tell you the last time. Yeah, there's a different R. I guess it'd be NC-17 in America.
Oh,
like the equivalency. Yeah, so this is our big rating.
Oh, okay. So you don't have an NC-17. Okay.
No, this is an 18 plus movie. You shouldn't be going to see this movie unless you're 18 years or older.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. And I realized that I'm like, oh, Eli Roth. I'm like, that's Cabin Fever. Okay. And as soon as all this stuff started, I'm like, that's right. The arm was a bit much for me. His arm bending the wrong way. I was like, oh, no, that's not okay.
It's just unreal enough.
Just real enough to see.
Yeah. It was bad. And I felt bad for him. He was trying to help.
He
Poor
was
Bobby.
trying to help. And that,
He was trying to
like,
do
I
the right
love
thing.
that all this. It's a very interesting commentary on all of us, but especially Gen Z. That all of this happened over a phone.
And
All
him,
this happened over a phone and was recorded on a phone, and
mhm.
all of everything that happens in this movie is directly related to the dependence that we have on these things, which is
and
shocking.
consumerism. Like,
Consumerism, yep.
it's like before, you never worked on Thanksgiving. You
No.
got up at the crack of dawn and went shopping on Black Friday. You ate your dinner, you went to bed, and then you woke up the next day. Now it's like you either skip dinner with your family or you get it to go and you go to work. And I think that's I got out before they started doing that, but man,
Yeah, the whole well, it's very much.
ridiculous.
I think it's a result of the 24-hour I want it now, on demand lifestyle that we lead now. That if people can't get what they want when they want it, they get very, very angry. Like you see it in retail all the time when you're like, I don't have it, I can order it for you. Well, how long will that take? It's like, as long as it's going to take, because there is a limited supply of things in the world, and just because you want something doesn't mean you get it straight away. But
and they don't like the discount or the free shipping that comes with it because they want it right away.
Yes, and revenge, like leftovers, is sometimes best served cold, as we find out 1 year later when Right Mart decide to do another Black Friday sale. I don't know. That's bad visuals for a company, right?
It was definitely in poor taste. No matter how much campaigning you did for the year, he sent kids to college, he donated to local charities. That's still not gonna undo the damage.
Not when you're killing locals, like what I mean.
And then Mitch in the front line leading the protest.
Yeah, Mitch has been protesting after being Right Mart's biggest supporter. He is now the biggest protester because of the death of his wife. But it comes back to haunt everyone because the fact that video exists out on the internet, like this will, like everything will. There is no deniability anymore when things go digital and they become public domain for the rest of your life. All of everything we've ever said is out there on the internet now, floating around in the universe. It's all out there, cancel culture. We're there, but this seems to go viral and go away and go viral and go away. And they are in a viral streak at the moment when the video of the riot gets, in full fever pitch as the holiday. It's not really Thanksgiving's a holiday. Black Friday's not. The holiday approaches. The anniversary / holiday, both together. So Bobby, it turns out, disappeared after the events of Black Friday and mysteriously returns.
I can't say I wouldn't do the same. I wouldn't want to be anywhere near that town. I mean, not just from the trauma alone, just from, just
Jessica has done a lot of healing in the last 12 months. She's Bobby ghosted her, as they say many, many times. Bobby ghosted. I'm like, okay, we get it. The term ghosted. But she's done a 180 and is now dating Ryan. It's like the guy that tried, like I think that they were trying to set him up as the good guy at the beginning.
Yeah, it didn't quite land.
It didn't land. It didn't. Like I was like, oh, there's something not right about Ryan. Even from the beginning, I was like,
it's off creeper vibes.
He does. Because I was like, Chuck Bass vibes from Gossip Girl,
yes!
like toxic masculinity vibes.
Oh God!
But
and that
repressed ones.
And that stupid gold chain. Ugh. I said it.
But there we go.
Come at me.
The real drama begins, as it always does, in the community, where we are reintroduced to Lizzie, who was one of the more vocal shoppers at the Black Friday. This actress is great. I love her. I think she's
A+.
amazing.
No notes.
She read her part and went, you know what? Balls to the wall. So Lizzie's the local waitress and this obviously hates these kids. Hates these kids, but still does her job. It's very small town, isn't it? It's like
it's like I hate you, but I still have to serve you. But I'm
I
probably
still
gonna
have to
spit your
serve
food.
you. Yeah, it was weird. It kind of there was like Twin Peaksy, but like the tone is very all over the place, but appropriate. If you get what I mean. We've got that mystery element. We've got that kind of weird element. We've got the comedy moments, but yeah, it's a ride. This movie, but this is probably one of the better scenes in the movie. So to celebrate the holiday, the restaurant, the diner, is giving out plastic John Carver masks. Now, I think this is effective. I think this is when you see it shot on screen the right way. It's very effective. Like it's creepy.
Yeah, and there's something very unsettling about that.
Something unsettling about it, and obviously a lot to say about colonialism and Puritanism and all that kind. I think this movie would make a great thesis film, like a dissection on modern day America and what the Pilgrims would came here for versus modern day culture. It has a lot to say, but it works because these masks, like every good slasher movie, are available en masse. So anyone in the town could be John Carver, which is super cool. And Lizzie finds that out the hard way. Literally the hard way.
You could say she was split in two over this.
She was, but it had enough cat and mouse. Like, I am not into gratuitous violence, but it had enough cat and mouse in it that it worked for me.
I mean, the thing I love about horror movies is I never get sick of yelling at the screen, and I don't mean like yelling, but like she comes out of the office
having that conversation. You're like, bitch, what are you doing?
Yes, and that's exactly what I said. Like, bitch, what are you doing? Get out! Who cares about your shit? Just go.
You need to run, bitch.
Like, what are you doing? Your purse ain't that all important. Just go.
Yeah.
Just
so
go.
Poor Lizzie. Let's try and recap Lizzie's injury. She gets carved in the hand.
Yeah, she tries to block the knife and gets stabbed in the hand, which, by the way, just makes me cringe every time. It looks like it hurts so bad.
I know, but it seems to be the thing to do now, ever since Jenna Ortega and Scream. She's like, we've gone past teeth. We've gone past teeth and fingernails. Now we're going straight to hands,
teeth, fingernails, Achilles heel, and straight
eyes.
Eyes. Oh,
no
and
eyes.
The eye. Oh,
yeah.
Cringe.
But the intelligence of the killer is, dunking her in the sink, then opening the deep freeze and sticking her to the deep freeze. That's some good shit.
Did you think it was the fryer at first too when he dunked
I was
her?
like, oh no, it would be too obvious. I think the fryer is too obvious.
I thought she was done for right away at this, like, oh, head in the fryer. That sucks.
But no, the deep freeze door and having to peel her face and her hand off.
Oof, that was
trying to do the face recognition and swipe. She's like, I can't do it. And again,
smart. Like, okay, you can't use your cell phone. Where is the office phone? What is your problem?
There is no landline in this day and age. This is what we're trying to say. This is commentary about America.
It's just so funny.
We are relying on these things to keep us alive.
It was just, I just couldn't do it.
Not okay.
Unbelievable.
Lizzie, we think she's gold, and then she gets cut in half by a dumpster and surreptitiously placed, well, half of her anyway, on the right mark side with the point fit going squarely up her ass. I mean, There is no more commentary, right? There is no more commentary.
Take your sail and shove it up your ass.
Shove it. Yeah, exactly.
There you go. It's so good. I really enjoyed and we'll see this throughout the film, John Carver's Instagram. It was
Yeah. And that
It's good.
scene weaponizing social media against
Mhm.
the generation that depends on it so much.
It
There's
was
so
good.
much to this
I liked
film.
that.
Yeah, there's so much to this film that
It's very savvy.
makes it smart. I think if you rewatch it, you're gonna see more and more.
Yeah.
There's a lot to say. This movie has a lot to say, but there is a rather large cast that we have to get through. So there seems to be a plan from John Carver, who is someone in the community that wants revenge for A, the Right Mart stuff, and I guess B, the survivors.
Mm-hmm.
He wants to hold them responsible for their part in it. And they kind of fly through some of these victims. It's just like, okay, everyone's getting done and done.
Oh yeah.
But the big secret is that the footage from inside the Right Mart was mysteriously deleted.
The cameras mysteriously stopped working. They
Yes.
worked right up until everything happened, and then they just malfunctioned.
Yeah,
It's convenient, isn't it?
Yes, and we find out that later on we find out that Jessica's stepmother Kathleen, who was, big bitch energy from the beginning,
Oh yeah.
is responsible for the malfunction.
Never liked her.
So the only footage that they're relying on is in the hands of the police and what John Carver is providing them, as well as the video that was taken. So they've got to kind of piece together the puzzle.
Mm-hmm.
It's very cool. But we go through a succession of of victims. How sorry did we feel for Maddie, the security guard?
The only thing I was worried about was that cat. I said,
the cat.
That cat.
He's like, where is he? And the cat's like,
it's over there.
The cat's like, you're fucked, dude.
I don't care about. I'm going to eat your corpse.
Yeah,
is what the cat said.
I think the best thing was after that whole thing, the cat meows and John Carver's like, oh my god, he's gonna do something to the cat. He just feeds it.
I was so nervous when he
I was like, that's good.
John Carver,
That was
leave that cat alone. You leave that cat alone.
He's like, yeah, he
he's
feeds
a good
the
boy.
kitty.
Feeds him.
Yeah, gets him some dry food. He's all good,
Yeah,
he's all right.
He's a good boy. He just needed some food.
Yeah.
Poor kitty.
Amy and Lonnie also, meet the end of. Oh,
I liked his.
Ooh.
I thought it was very simple, but well executed.
Yep.
Very effective. Hers, I was nervous for her, the way she was doing those jumps. I'm like, oh, she's gonna get one right in the cooter. Oh.
But what an interesting way! Like, what an interesting way for someone to
I liked
to cop it. Like, yeah,
like you didn't.
It was interesting, right?
You didn't see him coming from the bottom. I don't know how I thought he was gonna do it, but like, I didn't think that for sure. I did not think stabbing through the trampoline was gonna be it, but I liked it.
I was like, is he gonna like? I don't know. Is he gonna get a bow and arrow and shoot her, or she's gonna jump up and he's there, or something like? I thought it was going to be something like that, but no, a knife through that. I've got a new fear of trampolines now. A knife through the bottom of a trampoline, all the way up your Achilles. Oh,
yeah, and again, it's one of those spots where you see it and you're just like,
it's like, no, girl, no, it's not good.
Bye, girl.
Bye, girl. Bye. It was not okay.
She just wanted to get her. She just wanted to get,
Yeah, she just
get
wanted
with
to get
it on the trampoline.
Yeah, it just didn't happen. Those two.
It didn't work out.
Yeah, those two got terminated. Terminated.
Yeah, that's like the nice way of putting it.
It is the nice way of putting it. But it should be noted that they are doing a lot of mystery building, surrounding the surrounding everything, because there is the parade that's coming up, and lots of people dressed as pilgrims. Ryan is part of the pilgrims parade. Bobby's part of the pilgrim parade. They're shooting an ad that they do every year, like in historical sites. It's all very, very history laden, but it's putting the whole town on the suspect list at the same time, which is cool. I love that. It kind of also reminded me of the remake of The Town That Dreaded Sundown. Did you see that one?
I did see that one, oddly enough.
Yeah. It kind of reminds me a little bit of where it's this small town, but everyone's a suspect. There's that much. And like Scream, but I think Scream was a little bit more localized because of the high schooler aspect.
Yeah.
But this, it feels like it could be anyone.
I mean, like Scream, when we saw Mitch at the parade, I said, well, that kind of eliminates that. But then I thought, well, maybe it's a Scream and there's two.
Yeah, definitely interesting. There's a few red herrings in this one, and not like, I think, or some of them are a little bit obvious, but it's good to have a variety of them. It wasn't just one person where you go, aha, it's you, and then when it's not them, you go, oh.
Were you?
There was a few peppered in.
Were you shocked that Mitch didn't get got?
I am. I'm surprised that Mitch didn't get got. I think that Mitch. We'll see.
I mean, he's technically a victim, but he was also complicit in the store. So you could argue both ways here.
Yeah, he's got a little from column A, a little from column B.
Right. So I was kind of surprised they didn't get him.
Yeah. This is the interesting thing that I think that happens. Evan and Gabby get kidnapped. Like the high school, though, I really like that section that happens in the high school, because it makes that school seem really threatening and big, and like an area that they've grown up in, that they know is right, like, even it's the way it's lit and stuff. It's just like, right, yeah, love it.
They felt safe because the cops were right outside. They weren't worried. The guard was down, and it was just very well done, very well executed.
Yeah. And that chase scene with Jessica in the high school was really good. Like the lighting from John Carver. I really liked that section. I would have liked a little bit more of that, actually. I always love a good cat and mouse. I love a cat and mouse.
She's very clever with
that. Yeah, she's a smart girl.
She had available to her. Yeah, she's a good final girl.
Yeah, she's proto Sydney Prescott. She's a post millennial, Sydney Prescott kind of girl. She's not the dumb blonde. She got that action happening.
Yeah, she is definitely not the dumb blonde. Although I don't know that I would have went to meet my friends without an escort. If you're like feeling kind of like, it's a little sketch, I'm gonna go get the cop.
Yeah, right. I probably wouldn't leave the house, to be honest with you. I'd be like, I'm not going to school. Because if you would be using this excuse to not go anywhere. You'd be like, no, I can't.
You argue safer in numbers, and you're safe in the school.
Yeah,
and
I guess.
I see the logic behind it, but I also probably wouldn't leave either. Probably lock myself in the bathroom and just kind of like hunker down, make a bed in the tub.
There is someone that I feel really sorry for, and it's about to happen. After Julia's father.
Okay, now
I love the cat. I love his character. It just pops out of nowhere.
Okay, so answer me this, because Kyle and I can't agree on this. Yulia's father and the cop, are they dead or are they tranquilized?
I believe that, I think they're tranquilized because he shoots Jessica and Scuba with the same thing, right? They get knocked out.
Okay, that's what Kyle was saying, and I wasn't sure. I thought they were just dead.
No, I think that they're just knocked out. I think I think they
I must have
incapacitated. Let's say that way.
Because I just thought they were done.
Yeah, I think that they would, because it's a trank gun, because he shoots all four of them with it. So
right,
yeah.
Okay.
But I feel sorry for Yulia. First of all, I feel sorry for Yulia because of those. Oh, the corn, oh, the ears.
And I thought it was going to go on a little longer than it did. The chase, at least, just because she's deaf now. Basically, she can't hear.
Yeah, and you could have got some good mileage out of that.
Because it just makes the tension a little thicker.
But when there's a table saw in your kitchen, I don't think there's much time for. I don't think there's much time for subtlety.
Oh, and Scuba going, what do I do? Like, dude, there's nothing you can do. Or inside.
Yeah, there's nothing you could do. As soon as she like fell on it, I was like, oh no, this is not going to end well.
Like, I thought maybe it was just going to be her hand and she was going to fall.
Yeah, no, it was her whole.
Yep,
it was her whole shit. Her whole shit got fucked up.
Yep,
I was like,
there's no coming back from that.
And lots of blood, like if you, like there's your blood quota for the movie, right? It's like,
well,
tick.
You can't have an Eli Roth movie without a really big, gory, bloody death.
But I feel like at least it wasn't, on the trampoline scene that there was just all this blood for no reason. When somebody falls on a buzzsaw, there's going to be blood.
That's justified.
Like it was earned. It was justified. It wasn't.
Yeah.
Like as I said, I'm not really into the gore, but it was a justified gore movie.
I like that it wasn't just like randomly there for some reason. Like they explain why it's sitting there.
Yeah,
like
he's constantly in construction.
Mm-hmm. So,
but it's the same thing. He's like the shady guy in a small town.
Yeah.
And all these character types just work so well in the story. It's just like I live. But this is again interesting. Instead of going for the kill, Jessica and Scuba are abducted. Refreshing. I'm like, oh, that's cool.
Oh, you are missing the big part is that the killer dresses up as a clown, which is why you never trust a clown. And I've been saying this, and I'll say it again: don't trust the clown.
Yes,
I don't care why they're there.
I was about to talk about the parade.
Yes,
because the parade is where it goes full Eli Roth. Like this is where it goes. Like they're abducted after a bloodbath. Like this, and just these poor people. These poor people that I feel so sorry for the turkey. Like they forced to, but like they're forced to participate. It was very I know we did last summer. Very Helen Shivers. I liked that, and even down to the mask being in the crowd. It was very I know we did last summer. So it's appealing to us elder millennial people that go, oh, we saw this when we were kids. We know what's going to happen, but we had no clue.
But what was funny, and again, Kyle apparently is catching more details than I am. The turkey was the other guy with the cart.
Yeah, that's the thing. That
I didn't realize that. I thought it was just like collateral damage, and Kyle goes,
no. It's all related. But decapitating a turkey mascot, I mean, come on. Yeah, we're gonna get to and the smoke bomb. I didn't see the smoke bomb coming. Yeah, I didn't see us going fucking black ops military in the middle of
I didn't see that coming either.
A parade.
My mama came out, and when those little girls watched their poor grandfather just right to the head.
Like, Grandpa!
I'm like, oh God, get them out of the car.
Grandpa's fucked. Like, Grandpa gets the final destination death of the whole thing.
It was, and his head just exploded. Just
Grandpa's head is so much putty everywhere.
Very Eli Roth again.
Yeah, that clown is not messing around, man. And it was refreshing because we thought, all of these John Carver masks, it's a John Carver mask. Oh no, it's a homicidal clown that is coming through this fucking parade and carving everybody up. Carving everybody.
Clowns aren't that scary. There's nothing to be afraid with the clown.
Oh look, you can never trust it. You can never trust a clown, baby.
Never have.
Never trust a clown.
Never have. Never will.
Okay, this is where it gets interesting because we have our abduction, of the family, the Wright family, at Scuba, and we are sitting down at the dinner table.
This might be my favorite in the movie. My favorite death. This one. It's gotta be.
Kathleen.
Kathleen, you died an honorable death.
I do feel a little sorry for Kathleen. I know that she's the villain of the piece, but
she's a dumb bitch.
That's a hard way to go, baby.
I'll tell you why she's a dumb bitch. Because she probably could have rolled into the door, and it would have hurt, but you would have fell out of the fucking oven, and you probably would have lived. Maybe 5 minutes longer and not have died a burning death. But no.
As soon as he started basting her, I'm like, this is gonna end badly.
The freaking meat thermometer in the shoulder.
It's gonna end badly. Like, it's not gonna be good for her. He's like wiping it down with sage and oil and salt and pepper. It's like, it's not gonna be good.
Yeah, I was wondering. I mean, I knew what he was doing, but I was like, how's he gonna do this? And then, you see warming up the oven. I'm like, oh. Okay.
So after a short-lived chase scene, it was good enough. I enjoyed it. There was some tension in there.
There were some predictable parts of that chase, but it was still. I got what I wanted out of it. It was good.
Yeah. Kathleen is served up like a turkey to all of the survivors at the table, and I was like, that's some psychologically damaging shit. Like, these people are never going to be okay.
And well, Tom just immediately throws up. I'm surprised he didn't choke on it and like die there.
But John Carver proves that he means business. Evan, just poor Evan, bludgeoned to death, head made into pulp. So much cranberry sauce on a live stream.
You could say you got his mind blown. No.
Yeah, it was intense, but that intensity, I think, really it translated. I was like, oh my god, someone get those ropes off, go. Oh my, the tension. I was like, So the fact that Jessica manages to get away, I was like, yeah, woo.
So that voice changer was meant to sound like the voice on the original holiday trailer that was in the Grindhouse movie, and the voice is Adam McDonald, who is a fellow horror director. He is best known for a slasher TV series. I don't know if you've seen that.
Slasher, yep, I know Slasher. This feels very Slasher, doesn't it?
It does. It has very Slasher vibes.
Very first season Slasher. It feels very first season.
And I really enjoyed that show.
Yeah.
Not too bad.
But
not too bad.
Jessica gives good chase. I think we learned from this. Jessica gives good chase. She's got the good chase scene going on.
I gotta tell you, I would have met my end at that fence. I couldn't have gotten over. Good for her.
I know. People can climb fences, baby. I wouldn't even know where to start.
I would have fell. I would have been
like... But that ankle looked like it hurt. I was like, oh. That ankle looked like it hurt.
It did look like it hurt, and I'm mad at it because she magically recovers in the next scene. It's like,
Well, look, she may be a dancer because in my former life, I was a dancer, and my ankles are rubber. So, like, I roll my ankle all the time. Like, I don't get people like, oh my god, I can't walk. I've rolled my ankle. Like, really?
Okay,
like,
so
I do some horrendous things to my ankles. Like, I can jump turned in on my feet. That's how. Or like on the edges of my feet. That's how bad they are.
Expert opinion, is it rolled or is it broken?
Oh, I think it was meant to be like a roll, kind of like a savage roll.
All right, so it's not unlikely that she would have made a recovery.
If it was broken, I think she would be like hobbling.
Yeah,
I think it's just a rough landing, which we've all had. We've all had one of those.
Yes, but
we've all had a few rough landings.
Some of us would not. Be walking the next scene. Some of us would be like, just put me out of my misery.
Yeah, I can shake off a rolled ankle. Everyone else is like, oh my god. I'm like, well, this is what you need to do.
Show business, baby.
Years of tap dancing will loosen those ankles right up. You'll be okay.
Okay, all right. You talked me into it. I'm with you.
Yeah, look, go back in time and do like 20 plus years of tap dancing. You'll be okay.
Okay. All right.
So Jessica makes her way to the float parade warehouse and is quickly accosted when she sees she's not really accosted. She sees the John Carver go inside, but she's in shock
because it's
Bobby.
God damn it, Bobby.
God damn it, Bobby. So she calls for help to capture Bobby, but Bobby escapes. Huge surprise. Bobby himself. So the police actually arrive, and these people survive. Like, I was surprised. I'm surprised. Like, I guess had anything gone on, everyone would have gotten a horrible death and da 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 da. So it kind of interrupted the flow, as it were. Interrupted the flow, and they were rescued, and Jessica is safe. You know, Jessica is safe with the sheriff. But she's a smart girl. She's a smart girl, and notices the details. You know.
Well, because McDreamy gave her some good advice and said that it's one stupid mistake that unravels it all. I mean, not in so much words.
Always is. It is always one mistake. And then she recognizes the brambles from the bushes that she ran through are clinging to Sheriff Newland's pants.
Dreamy, how could you?
Revealing that Sheriff Newland is John Carver. Bum, bum, bum. I mean, I kind of didn't see it coming until I saw the bramble. I was like, fuck off.
One of my suspects. So
I didn't see it.
Oh, yeah. I hadn't pegged.
I might be a dumb bitch. Call me a dumb bitch, but I didn't see it.
You're not a dumb bitch. I didn't see the twist. I'll tell you that much. I did not see the twist. I had my top 3 suspects were the sheriff, Bobby, and Mitch. Those were my top 3, and I kept going back and forth between them. Like, And
I had a feeling it might be 2 of them. Like, I thought it might be Bobby and Mitch.
I definitely thought one of them was Mitch, but I thought maybe it was like the security guard that ran away. Security guard that ran away, but until he got. But
until he got got.
Yeah. But
now the revelation is that our pre Black Friday scene where everyone's you shouldn't have to work on Black Friday. We're having family Thanksgivings getting interrupted, etc., etc. And the fact that the first person we see is Amanda. It's revealed that, Newland and Amanda had a secret affair going on.
They're having an affair.
And not only were they lovers, but she was pregnant with his child when they died. When she died, they died. Yeah, correct.
Yep, they died. And
when they died.
I did not see that because, she was friendly enough to him, but, she didn't give me,
Yeah,
there was nothing
cool.
about their interaction that made me think there was something going on between them. She was friendly, she was warm, but she was inviting them into the family home. So you just didn't really
looking back at it, he did do a few longing stares, and especially when he discovered her body, the freak out and the gunfire. It makes more sense.
I guess now that you know that detail, you go back to it and think, maybe he's a little more tender with that than he needed to be, but they had an established relationship, so I thought you saw your friend die. If I saw any of my friends die, I'd probably react the same way. Very emotional.
Yeah, baby, very emotional, and that was his motive to become John Carver, and I guess what
just Steve, if that was you,
Puritanize the filthy Americans that have
if that was
destroyed his lineage.
I would turn into a serial killer and avenge you too.
Oh,
I would do it.
But Jessica again proves that she is no wilting flower. A lot of the times, we get to this final girl scene and there's crying and there's all this kind of thing. This bitch is smart and used the weapon, that brought all this amongst them to aid her. And live streamed the confession.
Social media is helpful sometimes.
And that I was like, yes, bitch. I was like, work. I
was thrilled
for
her.
That was a snaps for Jessica moment, right?
It was quick. She had that moving, but I guess
she's
a
smart girl, but that's the kind of smarts I want to see in my post-screen final girls.
Liz, Sydney set up standard that not every damsel in distress is helpless.
Exactly. What we didn't learn from Laurie Strode, we learned from Sydney Prescott. It's a hard road to follow, you gotta be good at this shit. But Bobby arrives just in the nick of time to save her, and we get a really it was actually a really cool scene of them trying to escape the parade float grounds. with the truck getting like tied up and Jessica having to use the musket that she had to use for the family ad. That was really cool. There was some tense moments when he had the axe, you know.
And then he delivers the line of the movie.
Do it. I was about to say
year, there will be no leftovers.
Jessica! You know, we love it. We love a screaming serial killer. You know?
And I gotta tell you, I was expecting the body bag line. I was waiting for it somewhere, but that one just it was perfect timing. It was appropriate. It had some gut to it. You know, yeah, I liked it. Every horror movie needs that one-liner. You need it.
And it firmly sets itself at the holiday with Jessica using the musket to explode the parade balloon that then engulfs the sheriff and the whole place in an obnoxious amount of flames. Really, an obnoxious amount of flames. It's like, oh, she toasty. She toasty. Yeah, so the next morning, Bobby's taken away in an ambulance, and Jessica reunites with Gabby, Ryan, Scooby, and Scooby.
We're gonna call him Scooby.
Scooby. It's McCartney. Now we didn't talk much about McCartney, but he's the comedy of this film, right?
Oh God,
gun tote CD that never left.
I'm selling guns to minors. Selling alcohol to minors.
Alcohol to minors. I reckon we could have a whole different conversation about McCartney, but throughout the film, he's like, and it's kind of cute that he's given her the tool, like the burnout high school that never graduated but never left is the one that gave her the tools.
He gave
the one that gave her the tools to survive. It was very poetic.
He gave me Randy vibes, and I like him.
Big Randy vibes, but if Randy was like a complete malcontent. Like a complete malcontent.
I liked him a lot. I'm thrilled that he made it through. Him and his
he made it through. There is a substantial surviving cast. Let's just put it that way.
And the death count wasn't that high.
We could not find the sheriff's remains in every good horror tradition. Like he was on fire, but they never found his remains.
He was incinerated. Nothing would have survived.
Nothing would have survived that. But Jessica continues to have nightmares. Now this is definitely, I know we did last summer, right? Come on.
Yes. Oh no, this is 100%
down to the T. Yeah.
Like, down to like the bedroom and the checking under the covers and yeah.
But to me, okay, that's the end of the movie. But to me, the movie doesn't feel finished.
Oh no, there's gonna be a sequel. He'd be stupid.
There's like for her to end up with Ryan, and
that was so unsatisfying. I just wanted her and Bobby to have this, just like in I Know What You Did Last Summer, just have this big reunion. And
I feel like we might be getting a second serving. I know they said there will be no leftovers, but that doesn't mean that won't be a second serving. I think that it's done okay at the box office. Like it's a $15 million movie. It's made about 22, which is not a resounding success, but I think it's done enough, right?
Like I said, a lot of people have been waiting a very long time for this movie. So he had people like us just stoked to go see it, and I would go see the second one in a heartbeat because this was fun. I think we can all agree, though, that the star of the show was Patrick Dempsey's accent.
Patrick.
I mean, you could tell he had practiced that, but it was not consistent, which made it.
It happens when we go regional dialects. It's always a little bit concerning, but that's okay.
It just made it that much better. It's like, oh, there it is.
But it'd be cool.
Hits those marks.
Hit those eyes. He hits those eyes.
Like very stereotypical New England.
I would like to see a sequel, and I very rarely say that. Sometimes, I want to see a sequel to this. I think that there's legs here, and it might not be like a 7 sequel franchise, but like 1 or 2 would be cool. I think that there's enough story here it just felt very unfinished, and I was like, is there a post-credit scene? Is there something? Like, it just feels like We got to the end, and then it's like, oh, okay. We pulled up short, like a couple of sentences short of the end. It's like someone ripped the last two chapters out of the book or something.
He knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
He knew what he was doing.
All right, Katie McCarthy, how many stepmom turkeys out of 5 do you give this one?
I'm going to give it a solid 4 out of 5. It was so much fun. I've been waiting 16 years for this movie. I'm very satisfied with it. And after the crap show that has been Eli Roth's career in the past few years, he needed a big win. I mean, he needed this win, and he nailed it. I loved it. You can't go wrong with a really fun slasher film that is scary but doesn't take itself too seriously. Because you can either have both, or you can go one way or the other. And I liked that he just had the really perfect balance of humor, but still a very classic slasher. So solid 4 out of 5.
Yeah, I'm going to agree. Sometimes I felt myself wanting a little more seriousness, but it doesn't take me out of the movie. Like I've had this conversation with a couple of people about Marvel movies where everything's going along swimmingly, and then we have a comedy moment for no reason. It's just like, oh, okay, that really takes me out of this. From the very beginning, it's an Eli Roth movie, so there's going to be violence and, black comedy fueled violence, I guess I would say, more than anything else. And it was, as you said, it was enough of both to not really take me out of it. But I like a serious slasher. Like, I like to feel stakes, and there are definite times in here where the chase scenes were great and we felt it. But there was the comedy moments too, and it worked. It worked for what it was. I want to see more. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I want to see more. Like, I didn't think I would.
He was very subtle, and it's funny to say that when you're thinking Eli Roth, but like, it wasn't gore porn. Like, it wasn't a Hostel film. Like, it wasn't
gratuitous. It wasn't like, let's poke an eye out just to poke an eye out. Everyone kind of got what they got because they got it.
Right, and I mean, these weren't subtle. Again, they weren't subtle kills, but they were outrageous enough, but not Hostel level kills. Like, Eli Roth's going to go big, but I like that he kind of pulled it back a bit because he's, you can only do so much in a slasher to make it believable that it's a slasher. Yeah. Otherwise, like, you might as well have made slasher. You might as well have made Hostel 4 if you went to
or Saw 10 or whatever, whatever. But there's a market out there for it. There's a market out there for everything, as we're learning. So there's a market out there for those of us that love Screams. There's a market out there for those that love Halloweens, that love Saws, that love all these franchises.
Right.
And it's an interesting first installment. I hope it's a first installment. I think this is a good chance to be a franchise. Another holiday franchise.
I love a good holiday horror film, and I know you guys are very, you question my taste and my selections, but I really like this one. Listen,
this one's a good one.
We could have done Thanksgiving again, but you just wanted to do this, but fine.
No, this one's good. I would prefer this one. But there's a lot of holiday themed horror around this year, which is nice to see. We might have to sit down with our compatriots and discuss maybe watching a little movie called It's a Wonderful Knife.
I love the play on words with that.
It actually looks quite good. So if you haven't seen the trailer for It's a Wonderful Knife, check it out. It's coming out soon, and it might sit nicely in our Christmas themed, uncensored horror as we head into the holidays. But Katie, thank you for joining me for the feast that was Thanksgiving. Are you full of tryptophan and need to lie down now?
No, I need a break.
I'm so sleepy. But we might wake up in a few hours and be hungry again, but that's okay because that's what Uncensored Horror is here for. So until next Thanksgiving and next time we sit down around the table, thanks for joining us and keep it creepy, folks. Bye.